regarding the kind of instant gallery here, I admire anybody who puts a piece of work in to be critiqued, okay? And this, remember what I said to you at the very beginning about enjoying it? Critiquing should be about encouraging people to do this, okay? I once witnessed, I'll tell you, I won't mention names because it's totally unprofessional and unethical, but I once witnessed a very well-known professional turner. It was at a symposium, and he stood there, everybody was waiting around, and you could hear a pin drop, and he picked a piece of work up. He looked at it, and then he said, that was a nice piece of wood. That was, if it had been mine, I would have picked it up and wrapped it around his ear. I'll tell you why. Because I could tell the piece he picked up was a relative beginner's piece. That guy, it was probably the best piece he's made. He was very proud of it. He's put it into something to show it off, and then some guy picks it up and slates it. What's that guy going to feel like? Okay? That's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. This is about encouraging people to do this, and we should be positive. I admire anybody. Even, you know, you can tell if people's work, how long they've been turning. A couple of pieces that come straight to mind for me. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous bowl. I actually, of all the turnings I like to do, I enjoy platters and bowls. For me, that's the epitome of wood turning. That is just a gorgeous, honest, ergonomic, it just feels nice. There's one little thing that would have changed this, and there's that curve spot on to there, and then here it loses it. There's a little bump here, and if that curve had been tucked in and this foot had been a little smaller, that would have, the curve is perfect from there to there. Then it just loses it a touch here. If you pick it up and look, you'll see it. Okay, but the rest of it, that is just a gorgeous, honest bowl. Absolutely beautiful. You know, the finish on it's nice. It just feels good. How a piece feels is just as important as how it looks. This piece here, Mexican rosewood or Bacote. That, again, very, very simple, nicely turned, simple shape in there. What more could you do with that? The wood is so dominant on that, it has to be a simple shape. If you put a fancy shape into this, it would cancel the wood out. If it's a pretty piece of wood, keep the shape and the form simple. That is gorgeous, just an honest to goodness little square turning, showing off the beauty of this piece of wood. And it's quite, not that I always like things to be centered, but that's quite nice the way that works. Some of the guys, when they mention about the natural edge bowls, they'll say, oh, level it up. Why? I actually quite like a bowl where it's at a slight angle like that. So when it's on a shelf, you can see into it, okay? I don't necessarily like things uniform. It's like whoever does this type of work, okay, that is beautifully done. I would never in a million years have the patience to do this. I'd have to be in prison. Seriously. I'd have to be in prison. Whoever did this, is he by any chance an engineer? Or does he have an engineering background?
Sales.
Is this yours, mate? Sales. Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't expect that.
For a living.
Wow. See, normally it's engineers who love to do this. They love to cut things up and be very... I did a symposium in Florida, down at Lake Yale earlier on this year. And when I get, that's right, when I get engineers coming into the design class, they're very difficult to free up because they're so used to working within the confines of measurements and everything else. And I was saying to the audience, I only teach 4 anyway at a time, and with the engineers, when I do the design class, when I find out the engineers, I'll give them all a cup of tea or coffee anyway, but with the engineers, I'd love to be able to say to them, right mate, roll a nice little joint and say, smoke this before we start. And I said that, you know, and 2 people said, Jimmy, when's your next class? Just to get them to free up, man. That's beautifully executed, beautifully glued up. Again, a lot of patience. These...
Question for you. The wood came from China. I have no idea what kind of wood that is.
I don't, mate. I couldn't tell you. Not a clue. It's
It
dead
was a
bonny.
broken chair at a Chinese restaurant that they made it in China.
That's
So,
really, I have no
idea.
idea what it is. Not a clue. Not a clue. This, that, again, just this. A beautiful, it's not artsy fartsy, it's not, you know, just a beautiful, nice turning, a salad bowl set. How, again, just because it's utilitarian, nice touch. This edge here, it's not flat, it's curved and it's angled in. That does two things. Ergonomically, your thumbs want to do this, you want to feel your way in, and aesthetically, it draws you in. That simple curve there. I never ever make the rim of a platter or a bowl flat, because people won't feel it. You can make people do things by the way and the curves you put into pieces. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous little, honest to goodness salad bowl set. Absolutely beautiful. You know, these trembleurs, trembleur, it's French for tremble, the move. Beautifully executed. That is a gorgeous little ball. Nicely turned, nicely finished, you know. As I said earlier, I'm not going to pick pieces up. I mean, that was just an obvious one. This one, that there, nice bit of cherry. That must have been quite difficult to hollow that deep. And end grain cherry as well, or burl. That's gorgeous. Again, a lovely, simple, flowing curve. What more do you want on a bonny piece of wood? That piece, honest to goodness, that's a really nice curve. And it is one continuous, even though it's soft there, that's a really hard curve to do. That long, soft curve and then tuck it into there. That's a gorgeous piece as well. Just feels nice. I can tell by the way, you know, how they feel. How a piece feels is just as important as how it looks. Nicely finished. That's another thing. I've seen good work, which could have been outstanding had it been finished properly. But I'll be dead honest with you, some of the more mature guys can't see the scratches that, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's absolutely true. They think they've got a great finish and now come up, there's a little scratch there. Where? Any, you know? So anybody who's put anything in of whatever, whether you're an absolute beginner, put stuff in because it encourages other beginners, okay? And a critique should be extremely positive. And you should never pull anybody down. Remember, this isn't, most of you guys do this for a hobby. It's not life or death, you know, it's I don't know, some of the professionals go a little bit too over the top, I think, on this. You guys all do this for a hobby, and like I say, it should, at the end of the day, be enjoyable. It's just really nice to see people bringing work in. If I was to pick a couple of pieces that just spring to mind, that there, this, and that set of balls, I just think they're gorgeous, honest to goodness, simple turnings. And those, especially with the hardwood and the sapwood, I think that's a beautiful bit of turning. Over the last, and I'm going to say what I think, I think the AAW over the last few years have catered to a more elitist group of sculptors than woodturners. That's what I think. You know? And you guys are the grassroots people who make up the AAW, okay? And yes, if you're naturally creative, some of the pieces that you see, the lathe was only a very small part of it, which is fair enough. But there should be a separate category for woodturners. They should have a stuffer. We would call it a stuffer in the magazine. A few pages for all that artsy-fartsy stuff, which is a part of woodturning. But the grassroots, that's why Woodturning Design magazine is doing very well, because it's grassroots turners writing articles for other woodturners, things you can all understand. So yeah, I just admire that you're doing this, and happy that you're doing it, because it keeps this craft alive. And it's a pity we can't get to the youth, because this is going to, with all due respect, if you look at I worked out the average age in this room, you know, honestly man, there's no kids. I can't, who's going to be, yeah, you're the youngest. Yeah, they're too young, you know, I mean, and they're the future of this. So doing what you guys do, symposiums and meeting in schools and having this open to the public is great. Not many clubs do that. They keep it closed. To have this open to the public is really good. You might get new members, and it keeps this craft alive. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. I'm going to have a